is the inauguration of 20 units of 5 bedrooms with service quarters for judges in the state. The aim of this massive infrastructure is simple. It's to encourage judges in the state to live above board and also provide a conducive environment for quick dispensation of justice. On behalf of the broadcast crew, I welcome you to this epoch-making event. I am Jenny Basi.
Please, may we rise for the national anthem. For the opening prayer, may we invite Justice Constance Doye Green. My Lord, please, here. My Lord.
Please let us pray. In the name of Christ. Our Father and our God, we worship you for today. We thank you for making it possible for us, commissioning of this gigantic project, Chinwe SAN Waters. Lord, we say to you, be all glory and honor and praise. Indeed, Lord, it is you that put this in the heart of our governor to do, and you caused him to complete it in a great way in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, Lord, we thank you because it is your doing and it is marvelous in our sight, because except you build the house, the workman built it but in vain. And so, our Father and our God, we commit the ceremony today, the commissioning of this gigantic project into your care. We ask that you take total control and you take glory out of it all, that your name may be glorified. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, the Honorable Dr. Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, CFR, GCON, ably represented by His Lordship, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, CFR, Justice of the Supreme Court. Your Excellency Yesom Ezenwa Wike, CON, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State, and your dear wife, Her Excellency, Honorable Justice Eberechi Suzette Yesom. My Lord, President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica Dogban Mensem. Your Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Epalebo Banigo, DSSRS, Deputy Governor of Rivers State. Your Excellency, Sir Celestine Omeya, JSSRS, former Governor of Rivers State. The former Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Sir Austin Opara, OFR, DSSRS, and other honorable members of the National Assembly and elder statesmen present. My Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Honorable Justice Adama Eyaye Lamenkara, DSSRS. My Lord, the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abiri. My Lord, the Presiding Justice, Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division, Honorable Justice I.M.M. Salawa, and the presiding justices of Abuja and Imo divisions. My Lord, the President, Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State, Honorable Justice Christina I. Gabriel Wankwo, and Honorable Justices of the Court of Appeal, High Court, and Customary Court of Appeal present. Honorable members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, members of the State Executive Council present, the State Commissioner of Police, CP Joseph Mokan, and other service commanders present, the President, Nigerian Bar Association, Barrister Olumide Akpata, and other past presidents of NBA present, learned senior advocates of Nigeria, Dame Anna Aguma, matriarch of the Aguma family, in whose son's name the estate is christened, Chinwe Aguma, Judges Quarters. Members of the State Judicial Service Commission, Chief Registrars of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State, Your Worship, learned magistrates of the Rivers State Magistracy, the Chairman, Nigerian Bar Association, Port Harcourt, and other branches, gentlemen of the press, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On Monday, 3rd August 2020, we gathered for the presentation of official vehicles to judges of the Rivers State Judiciary by His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State. Today, exactly 1 month, we are gathered again for another milestone in the annal of the Rivers State Judiciary, that of the commissioning of a breathtaking estate for people of distinct taste. May I therefore most humbly welcome His Lordship, the Chief Judge, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and other distinguished personalities to the commissioning of the Chinwe Agoma SAN Judges Quarters, conceived and constructed by His Excellency Nyesom Ezenwa Wike, the Governor of Rivers State. On this note, Your Excellencies, may I welcome for the welcome remarks the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Rivers State, Professor Zacchaeus Adango. Can we please put our hands together for him as he makes his way to the microphone?
My noble Lord, Dr. Justice Ibrahim Mohammed, Chief Justice of Nigeria, heavily represented by noble Lord, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, CFRO, Your Excellency Nyesom Ezenwa Wike, CON, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State and your dear wife, Honorable Justice Suzette Ebereshi Wike, Your Excellency the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Dr. Mrs. Palibo Haribanigo, my noble Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, and your learned brother of Bayelsa State, please permit me to adopt the protocol already well. On behalf of the Governor of Rivers State and the government state, I welcome you most warmly to this auspicious occasion of the commissioning of Manuel Aguma SN Judges Quarters for Judges of Rivers State Judiciary. The driving force behind this project is the enthronement of a very vibrant and independent judiciary that is sufficiently equipped both in terms of personnel and infrastructure to dispense justice to all without favor, affection, or ill will. Although the concept of administration of justice and judicial independence is quite generic and smack of variegated elements, one important aspect is ensuring that judges remain upright and cultivate that dependent disposition to dispense justice to all. The provision of accommodation to judges during an it's one way of ensuring that our judges remain independent and insulated from the mundane temptations and other subtle overtures. I commend Your Excellency for this noble, and I hope that as we commission this unique estate, that the administration of justice in Rivers State will be enhanced, justice will be more effectively delivered, more efficiently served, and more speedily delivered. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you. My lords, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, next is remarks and project description by the Honorable Commissioner for Housing, River State, Elder Tasie Shinedu Mabwezi.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented here. Yes. Your Excellency, the Governor of River State, and your dear wife, my Lord, the President, Court of Appeal of Nigeria, my Lord, kindly permit me to adopt the already established protocol. My Lord, Chinwe Aguma SAN Waters Project was a total initiative of the Governor of River State, Nyesom Ezewonwike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, aimed at making all the judges from River State serving to own their own accommodation, even after retirement. And this he did so that they will not be distracted one way or the other while carrying their official duties, worrying in life how and where they will live after leaving their official quarters. And so he conceived this idea to build this edifice that you are looking on right now. The history about it is that on 26th of July, 2017, the then Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter S.A. Oner, GCON, was here to flag off the groundbreaking ceremony. And after that, the River State government on 4th of October 2017 signed an agreement for the design and the construction of what you are seeing here with Intel's Nigerian Limited as the contractor, with Prodeco, which is the main development company. Now today, what you are seeing here is 20 numbered duplex of 4 bedroom. 4 bedroom including a maid room. And so you can almost call it a 5-bedroom duplex. When you enter the ground floor, you will find the main lounge that is together with the dining, the laundry, the kitchen, and the visitors' room, and also the waiting room. When you go upstairs, you will now find the master bedroom, 2 of them, the master bedroom and the madam's bedroom. Then the children's bedroom, the lounge, which is the family lounge. And then we have the box room and other rooms attached. My Lord, when you find out that the whole rooms have been equipped, not just building. The governor did not just build. After building this edifice, he now brought the construction giant again, Julius Berger, to do the furnishing. And the furnishing was a luxurious one. I don't want to describe what you see there, but when you go in, you will see the type of electronics that have been installed in each of the, including the kitchen, where the cooking is taking place. You will see television. Now the house is also having the most modern wireless CCTV, which you can monitor what is happening around your environment, even when you're away, using your smartphones. Even if you're overseas and you want to know what is happening here, the CCTV will give you, with your smartphones, you will know. At any time, even when somebody knocks at their door, you'll be able to know who, and you can call whoever for a rescue. My Lord, away from the house, we have other recreational facilities that are attached to this building, not just the building itself. From here, you can see the lawn tennis court. You see the basketball pitch. Behind the VIP tent, you will see the swimming pool. And then at the entrance gate, you will also see a multi-purpose hall that can take about 100 persons together in a mini party or anything for a form of family celebration. The estate has 2 gates the main entrance gate, which is from Elelemo, where you entered from. And then we have the exit gate that leads to Location Road, which is just by the corner here. Now, you see, the estate is adorned with network of roads. And this network of roads also have drainage. All the stormwater from Lebam, everywhere, all the stormwater are gathered, are taken from here down to Location Road, and from Location Road, it will now go to Itawoba Creek. And that is also the noble projects done by the governor, awarding 2 big drainages also to the company Inters Nigerian Limited. So all the stormwaters from Lebam, Orazi, and Pakani, all environment enters here through the openings we created so that there will not be environmental hazards to them that comes out from flooding. So we collect all the water down to the drain. And the drain is built in such a way that after the heavy rain, you cannot find single water around the estate. Before this time, Location Road is no-go area after any heavy downfall because it is subject to flooding. And now all that thing has become things of the past. The road itself had been built by Predeco, which they built it according to their standard, 20 cm concrete slab all over. But after that, the governor, in his wisdom, felt that it should look like road and not just a white cement because they would think it's ordinary slab. And so he decided and directed that Julius Berger put asphalt on top of the concrete road that have already been paved. And so what you are seeing, the black or the asphalt, is just to decorate the main road that carries the structure that is underneath. And so this, he adds durability to make sure that this road forever remains a very strong road and cannot develop any pothole. My Lord, I must thank Your Excellency for giving Ministry of Housing this opportunity to showcase their ingenuity in terms of supervision. Because we are the custodians of all the architects in Rivers State Government, and that we showcase that in this supervision, which you can now see, and here can be termed as an edifice. Here was bare before, even after construction, but after he now did the landscaping using another contractor, and what you see today, landscaping has turned it to be a paradise. And I think this is a dream of anyone that is looking at this place to live in this paradise. Your Excellency, we thank you. And on behalf of ministry, thank you, my Lord. Thank you, Your Excellency.
My Lord, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I, with your consent, now humbly invite the Chief Judge of Rivers State, my Lord, the Honorable Justice Adama Eyaye Lamikara, for our speech.
Understand.
The Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, CFR, ably represented by Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court. His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Barrister Nyesom Ezenwawike, CON, GSSRS, QS Africa. Her Excellency, the wife of the Governor of Rivers State, the President, Court of Appeal of Nigeria, my neighbor and my friend, Honorable Justice Monica Dongbam Benson. the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, and all my brother judges who are here present. Please permit me to rest on all the protocols. On behalf of myself, the Honorable President of the Court of Appeal, judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal of Rivers State, learned magistrates, chairman and members of the customary courts, and the non-judicial staff of the Rivers State Judiciary, I extend a warm and cordial welcome to my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by Honorable Justice Peter Mary Odili, His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State, the President of the Court of Appeal, and all other distinguished persons present at this momentous occasion. This impressive, unparalleled, historical, official commissioning ceremony of the judges' quarters in Rivers State, in this place, Elelewon Street, GRA Phase 1, Port Harcourt, constructed by the government of Rivers State, will long be remembered in Rivers State for generations to come. We recall with inexpressible joy the inaugural speech of His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Chief Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, GSS, RS, POLs, on the 29th of May 2015, wherein His Excellency gave a formidable assurance or pledge to restore the independence of our judiciary and enhance justice delivery in the state, guarantee full financial autonomy to the judiciary by ensuring that its funds are captured as first-line charges, and prioritize the welfare of judicial officers, including enabling judges to retain their residential accommodation upon retirement. His Excellency repeated this avowed policy at different fora. On 26 July 2017, in this place, the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter Samuel Nkanu Onogen, GCON, graciously performed the historic groundbreaking foundation-laid ceremony for the construction of these judges' quarters. And today we have the singular privilege and rare honor of having the incumbent Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, JSC, to graciously perform this historic official commissioning of this estate, built for judges of Rivers State by the government of Rivers State under the leadership of His Excellency Chief Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS. Today, history is made. We are witnessing the practical reality of His Excellency's formidable promise of providing residential accommodation for judges of the Rivers State to be retained upon retirement. This feat is unparalleled in the history, and it is exceedingly surprising that this gigantic and expensive project, which is like a project to be executed in decades, is done within few years of His Excellency's tenure in office. The greatest problem or challenge besetting a judicial officer in Nigeria is the unavailability of a comfortable and befitting residence after retirement and after rendering meritorious service to his state and the nation. This project demonstrates the very strong commitment of His Excellency in the infrastructural development of the Rivers State Judiciary and the welfare of judicial officers in Rivers State Judiciary and of the federal judiciaries who are of Rivers State origin. We are all delighted and overjoyed beyond expression. In the Governor of Rivers State, we see a great man of incredible personality, with generosity of spirit, dogged determination, and often misunderstood large-heartedness in terms of provision of welfare to all. In terms of human and infrastructural development of the Rivers State and the judiciary in particular, His Excellency runs as fast as the wind, and he possesses the human will and ingenuity that makes the seemingly impossible possible, and making the unthinkable happen, all for the betterment of Rivers people and all to the glory of God. This exquisite estate to be commissioned today comprises of 20 tastefully and fully furnished and sold 5-bedroom flats with 3 parlors, 2-room boys' quarters, dining, kitchen, store, laundry, study, and box room. Each house is on its own, fenced with a wire mesh, with a gate, parking space for 5 cars, and garlanded with flowers. There is standby capacity generator and 24-hour security. My Lord, the aesthetic standard of this official accommodation is indescribable. It is better seen than described. From our research efforts and inquiry, we dare say, and we are open to correction, that there is no state judiciary in Nigeria, in Black Africa, that can boast of this type of exquisite accommodation for serving judges of the judiciary on owner-occupier basis and upon retirement. This is a doubtless manifestation of His Excellency's creative spirit, sense of beauty and quest for law, justice, and the good order of man and society. These quarters are designed for privacy and efficiency of judges, as befitting accommodation should be part of the remuneration attached to the High Court bench. The discharge of their functions as judges requires clear thinking and judgment writing that must be facilitated by the provision of the best possible living and working condition or environment now provided by the government of Rivers State under the able leadership of His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State. This will enable the judges and the Rivers State Judiciary to deliver justice without fear of favor or fetters and without worries, misapprehensions, and misgivings about their future in retirement. We remember the immortal and evergreen words of Honorable Justice Muhammad Mustafa Akombi CFR, former President of the Court of Appeal of Blessed Memory, on judges and judging. I quote, "The mind that administers justice must be free from financial embarrassment. He must be able to think straight to be able to deliver good judgment. Poor conditions of service disturb the mind. It is an obstacle to clear and positive thinking, hence an obstacle to justice according to law," unquote. In Rivers State Judiciary, I am very proud to say that I know not of any inhibiting factor or factors whatsoever that will militate against the optimal performance of the constitutional duties of the judges of the Rivers State Judiciary. May I advise my brother judges, the beneficiaries, to adhere to the policy, purpose, and terms of the grants of this, of which is it must be on owner-occupier basis and not subject to alienation, letting, or sale. Space will not permit a catalog of other welfare packages for the judiciary by His Excellency, but just to inform all and sundry that recently, a month ago, 3rd of August 2020, His Excellency provided 41 new official cars, Range Rover Sports Wheel Drive, to all the judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal. This is the second provision of official cars to judges, in keeping with the policy of the National Judicial Council that judges be provided with official cars every 4 years. All the judges of the lower courts are not left out in the provision of official cars by the Rivers State government. We cannot thank His Excellency enough. Words fail us in expressing our gratitude. In conclusion, let me in a very special way thank our governor, our benefactor par excellence, Chief Barrister Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS, for this landmark achievement. May God continue to bless His Excellency and His families. Thank you all, and God bless you. Long live the good people of Rivers State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you all.
My lords, Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to goodwill messages. First, by the Nigerian Bar Association. May I invite the chairman, NBA Port Harcourt, Prince Nyekwere.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by my Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Odili, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, permit me to stand on existing protocol. Let me adopt all that I said during the commissioning of the presiding Justice of the Court of Appeal quarters and the staff of the Court of Appeal, and briefly add that Nigerians are used to speaking in superlative when in actual fact, when you consider what they are saying, it cannot correlate with that superlative. You will see some mushroom private secondary school, they will say Prince International Secondary School. And you get there, there is nothing local government about it, talk less of international. But when we talk about what His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, has done for the judiciary, it's just because outside superlative, in English language, there is no other word to be used. So we use superlative. I was privileged to be in this place when the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, my Lord, the Honorable Justice Walter Onegen, laid the foundation, we called it groundbreaking. And for those of us who were there and who are here today, we lack the English word to say what this place has been transformed to. And we want to be grateful to His Excellency. Lawyers are the beneficiaries of this, because when the lords are comfortable in administering justice, it will impact on us. I wish to commend Your Excellency on behalf of the 8 branches of Rivers State, and I congratulate my Lord for this wonderful edifice. Thank you very much.
My lords, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the goodwill messages, this time from the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria. As I invite representative of the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria, the Honorable O.C.J. Okosha, MFR, SAN, DSSRS, Justice of the Peace, and former president of the Nigerian Bar Association.
My Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice of Nigeria, here very ably represented by my Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court. Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Wike, CON, GSSRS, POS Africa, and my Lord, the wife of the Governor, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, my Lords, distinguished chiefs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria here in Rivers State, let me also add my own voice in commending the Governor for visioning this project executing it, and today commissioning it. We are all proud to be here and happy because, as was said by the Chief Judge of Rivers State, whenever projects like this are commissioned, we see a clear demonstration of the zeal to ensure that justice is administered without fear or favor. As my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Judge of Rivers State quoted, when judges are insulated from the regular pressures of life, they are in a fit and proper mind to do their work in administering justice without fear or favor. And the good part of this is that this kind of development gives them that security of tenure which all of us desire to secure an independent judiciary. While sitting and in service, they have accommodation, they have vehicles, they have all the necessary things to do their work. And when they do retire, they have that security. Because all too often we see that when our judges retire, they have to return to sometimes not as befitting residences. They don't have the same cars and the same facilities they had when they were in service. And sooner or later, the exits will sound. But this is not the portion of the judges of Rivers State. And we commend your excellency for executing this project. Let me say that, as we have all noted, this is unprecedented in Nigeria. All of us know that when the budgets of the judiciaries are released, they just cover the basic necessities. In other countries, while serving as judges, judges are entitled to go and take a mortgage and able to pay through life so that they have accommodation secured for them. But this is a clear demonstration that something like this should be provided for judges and justices in Nigeria. And I'll plead with all other state governments, and indeed the federal government, to emulate this very worthy gesture of the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Ezenwawike, CON. Let me say this. It is not easy to conceive a project like this and to doggedly finish it within this kind of time, and we're all here seeing its commission. We congratulate Your Excellency, and we commend you for this effort. We congratulate the judges of the Rivers State Judiciary, and indeed, those of them who are no longer serving in the states, who will also benefit from this project. We know it is not enough to go around, but I'm sure that knowing His Excellency, as we all do, some other projects may be in the offing for the benefit of our judges and also our magistrates. Your Excellency, we thank you, and I commend you and congratulate the judiciary again. May God bless us all. Thank you.
My lords, permit me to continue with the goodwill messages as we invite the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Barrister Olumide Akpata.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by my Lord Justice Mary Peter Odili, Justice of the Supreme Court, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, GSSR, and your lovely wife, my Lord. Permit me to adopt existing protocol. We are way behind schedule, so I don't want to take more time. But I bring a goodwill message from the Nigeria Bar Association to the government and the people of Rivers State on this, should I say, astonishing occasion, Your Excellency. I think, because I'm looking for the words to describe what we are seeing here today. I'm extremely proud as a lawyer to be witnessing this. I'm extremely proud as a Nigerian to be witnessing this because this is government in action, if I would say so myself. As I was saying earlier this morning, that the system of administration of justice does not just happen. It has to be thought through, there has to be vision, there has to be determination, all of which have been displayed by Your Excellency in this and other projects. I personally grew up in the house of a judge, and I know what it was in terms of terms and conditions of service for our judges in those days. And what Your Excellency you've done today is to bring dignity to that noble profession, or should I say the noble calling of judges, and to ensure that they are able to operate efficiently, even from the home front and also in the offices. In that way, the rule of law can be enshrined. In that way, there can be access to justice. In that way, justice can be done and indeed seen to be done. So the ultimate beneficiaries of this are the people. And of course, the lawyers also are beneficiaries because 80% of members of the NBA operate in this space. They are litigators and they go to court, and they are the direct beneficiaries of a performing judge and a judge who does his or her duties efficiently. So I'm most grateful, Your Excellency. But two things stand out. Firstly, we're not just talking about quarters for judges. Just in case any of you missed it, this is on an owner-occupier basis. That is novel, and that is indeed worthy of commendation, even if we have to repeat it. It is indeed, it is astonishing. And I hope that this template, because like I said earlier, the NBA intends to engage with government at national and subnational level to ensure that the judiciary is resourced properly. I'm hoping that this template can be replicated around the country. Because like I said, it's not only just about money, but having the vision and the ability. The other thing that I thought I should mention is the fact that this edifice has been named after a great, great man. Chinwe Aguma, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, of blessed memory. Thank you for doing honor to his memory, the memory of our dear colleague. Thank you, Your Excellency, for that. Finally, to the lords who are the beneficiaries of this and other worthy gestures of the River State government, the ball is in your court, literally, and I'm sure that we will begin to see the dividends of this kind of input into your system. We'll begin to see an even better system of delivery of justice in River State to the benefit of all of us Nigerians. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you to the people and government of River State.
Thank you. That was the President, Nigerian Bar Association, Barrister Olumide Akpata. My lords, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next goodwill message is from our sister state, Bayelsa State. Permit me, my lord, to invite the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abere.
His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Mohammed Tanko, ably represented by my mother, my Lord, Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, His Excellency, the Governor of River State and his dear wife. My Lord, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. And as I sat there and I looked at the program, I know there was no place for the body of chief judges. And I just whispered to my Lord, my sister, and told her that I will need to say something here. And she quickly whispered to His Excellency, and here I am saying something. Your Excellency, I want to thank you so much. I remember we came here some few months back when the South-South female judges came, and we got here to see this place. And when we saw it, most of us were wondering whether we will not back here and stay here. We want to thank you for so much that you have done. Indeed, when we talk about independence of the judiciary, I want to see this one as not just independence. I want to call it super independence. Why I call it super independence is because even if the judiciary is giving money to do this work, I would doubt if, not that we don't have capacity, I would doubt if we would have done it in the manner we are saying it today. I know that what the judiciary needs is not the money to construct. If there is a body to do the construction work for the judiciary and done so perfectly well as this one here, and even better, the judiciary is just okay. Because I know that if you say, okay, let the judiciary get its money to do its work, it will still distract from the work, from the judicial work. I know in some client, they have a body that does the work for the judiciary. But it's because in time past, from several years back, we know that it has been so difficult for many chief executives to get judiciary to the level where we are seeing it today in Rivers State. I want to thank His Excellency for what has been done here. I know that when a judge retires, what will begin to bug the judge, 2 years to retirement, is where the judge will stay after retirement. I'm just recently remembering a recent history of a justice of the Supreme Court that retired. And he didn't have where to go, and it was not fun. You can imagine if every justice of the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, have a retirement home while serving. You don't bother yourself anymore to think of where to get money to build. You just concentrate on the job. And that is what His Excellency has done for Rivers State. And I just want to say that you are a judiciary in joy. Rivers State judiciary now in joy. Is every judiciary in joy. And as I got in here, I said, are we in Nigeria? I know that God has just given you that grace. It's not because you are a lawyer. It's not because your wife is a judicial officer. It is the grace of God upon your life that has brought this about. I know of many chief executives that are of the legal profession that don't even think of the judiciary or the legal profession. Not that they don't want to. It is the common thing that happens. How a tailor would have his children wearing tattered clothes. A shoemaker would not be able to repair his own shoes. And a carpenter would have the worst of chairs in his house. That is what happens. But for you to just leave all other things and face the profession, it is a divine intervention in your life. I want to say thank you so much. And I want to thank again our mommy, your wife. You know, the reception she gives to us when we come to Rivers State is appalling. I want to thank every one of us. I know that, Your Excellency, sir, one thing you will not do, it's not a competition thing. In your meetings, you may be telling other chief executives that the only way you can take the judiciary forward and make justice become real to everyone is to ensure that a judicial officer is comfortable both at work and at home and after work at retirement. Thank you so much. May God continue to bless you and keep you for everyone. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please may we appreciate my Lord, the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, Honorable Justice Kate Abere, CON. Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the last goodwill message is from the Court of Appeal, as I most humbly invite the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica Dogman Menson.
My Lord, the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Dr. Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, CFR, GCON, ably represented by my Lord, the Honorable Justice Mary Peter Odili, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State. Okay, we add the barrister and all the other titles. Nyesom Wike and his lovely wife. May I at this stage deem protocol all duly observed. I said it at the commissioning of the residence of the presiding justice and staff of the Court of Appeal that providing this type of accommodation, residence for judges is a wonderful feat. Now coming here, I feel a bit green with envy because in the PJ's residence, I did not see so much of greens. I wanted to ask His Excellency if we could have maybe a swimming pool around the residence. And here there is swimming pool, there is a lawn tennis court, there is provision for virtually everything. And I'm concerned that the distance is a little bit much. So I'm using this opportunity to appeal to His Excellency to consider revisiting our own residence. That is not to say that we are ungrateful. Now, on a very serious note, a judiciary which has been provided with lifelong accommodation requires very little more to perform optimally. I know our challenges are many. Before I came up here, I asked Her Excellency how long she had been on the bench, and she had been there for quite some time. I was wondering whether it was her experience that led His Excellency to conceive this project of providing a befitting residence for judges. But it appears I didn't get it right. That conclusion was not feasible because it appears their excellencies have been comfortably accommodated for a long time. There isn't really much that I can say that I can add to what our eloquent speaker and leader of the bar, OCJ Okocha Chief, Leonard Silk, the president of the bar also, and other speakers have said about the need for the judiciary, for judicial officials, justices, and their supporting staff to be well accommodated, to be allowed a place of dignity to enable them to perform their work properly. There is nothing as difficult as judicial work. I dare say so because I've been in it for a long time. And when you work in an environment where you have challenges left, right, and center, and you come back, you expect to come back to a place of comfort. Judicial officers are not used to comfort, but that doesn't mean that we are not entitled to comfort. Where people have their weekends to relax or to do some other jobs, judicial officers do not have that comfort. Therefore, it is not uncommon that you see that judges retire with no homes to go to. And in fact, They don't even have time to think about that until the very last minute. We have heard of a justice of the Supreme Court who had no place to retire to. I know of one right now who is living in a rented quarters. A justice of the Supreme Court, a retired justice of the Supreme Court. So what His Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, has done is a life uplifting project, and it only comes out from somebody who thinks of life as a gift from God and who uses his office efficiently to provide comfort for those who stick out their heads and their necks to serve their nation. Serving the nation in the judiciary is not a cause. Somebody has said that before. And therefore, I commend you, and I thank you very much. I congratulate my neighbor, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, and all the judges of Rivers State for the privilege of occupying these beautiful quarters. I've seen some of them. I'm sure it's a replica of what I saw in the Court of Appeal quarters. I urge you to take advantage of this enabling environment to work better and uphold your oath of office to do justice among all Nigerians. Our terms of appointment, judges are entitled to be accommodated, and there's something fundamentally wrong there because it does not give accommodation after retirement. What has happened in Rivers is an eye-opener for the NJC, which has already started something towards that, and other chief executives, governors of other states to emulate, to provide befitting accommodation for their judges so that they can deliver justice with a free and fair mind. Because when they are stressed up, they may have a divided mind and may not be able to concentrate on their work. But we have been doing our best, what we could. We are entitled to better. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. May God continue to protect and uphold you in all that you do. Thank you.
Please, can we once again appreciate, my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal. Thank you.
And earlier in their goodwill messages, the people had given brief description of the facility. They also commended the executive governor for the provision of the quarters for judges, noting that it will solve problems of accommodation for judges on retirement.
My Lord, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by my mother, the Justice Mary Okego Peter, the Justice of the Supreme Court. Your Excellency, my boss, my wife, Justice Ebrechi Yesom Wiki, my Lord, the Excellency, the Deputy Governor, my Lord, the President of the Court of Appeal, Your Excellency, the former Governor of Rivers State, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, my Lord, the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, who swore me in on May 29th, 2015. The presiding justices on the various Court of Appeal divisions that are here and justices on the Court of Appeal, my Lord, the President of the customary Court of Appeal, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, the body of senior advocates of Nigeria, headed by OCJ Abuja, the various chairmen of various branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, judges of the River State High Court and judges of the Customary Court of Appeal, the magistrates that are here, gentlemen, members of the State Council, particularly the Honorable Attorney General of the State, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, let me appeal to my Lord, the Chief Justice, that whatever I will say here, I'm saying it from my mind. And whoever is angry, please forgive me today. It's not every time that I will say something that will suit everybody. But I want to give God the glory, the honor, that I stand here today to say that the promise I made in 2015 when I was sworn in by the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, and that today, at in 2017, is among the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Onogen, did the foundation ceremony of this Chinwe Aguma SN Judges Waters. Today, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Dr. Tanko Muhammad, CFR Jesuen, is here to commission this edifice. If you look at the back, this building, when I came here last week, I saw the building, and the state government had acquired it because we believe that you cannot have such a high rising and overlooking the judges' quarter. So we have acquired it so to be part of the judges' quarters. It is my pleasure. Let me recognize the Speaker of the State Assembly. And then the mother of my former Attorney General, Lady Anna Abuja. Let me give you a special recognition. You know, these people, they always block me, they won't allow us to see very well. So I especially recognize it. It's my pleasure to welcome the Honorable Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, CFR, GCON, ably presented by Justice Mary Okego Peter Odley, and the President of the Court of Appeal and other justices of the Court of Appeal here to the commissioning ceremony of the judges' residences and presentation of certificate of occupancy to the recipients of these quarters. Today, my Lord, the Chief Justice will present CFOs to all those who are located these buildings. So it's not a question of they just give us allocation and no CFO. Today, my Lord, the Chief Justice will present CFO to each and every one of them. So it's not a question of people saying that who knows what will happen tomorrow. Don't be afraid. You have your CFO. I've signed it towards 2 days ago. I've signed the CFO. So you collect it today. Right here, not when you leave, right here, you collect it. Recall that in my inaugural address in 2015, we promised to provide lifelong accommodation for judges as a deliberate government policy to enhance their working conditions and well-being. Pursuant to this policy, we acquired a wide expanse of land and government reservation area of Port Harcourt and we invited the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter Onore, GCOA retired, to lay the foundation stone on the 17th of July 2017. Today we have successfully delivered this project and are assembled to bear witnesses to the formal commissioning of the quarters and handing over of the accompanying certificates of occupancy to the benefiting judges. Although the provision of living houses is a precondition for the appointment of judges, the existing policy requires them to surrender their official accommodation at the end of their service. This has led to unfortunate instances of retired judges and their families being forcefully evicted and thrown out of their official accommodation upon retirement. Given the constitutional restriction on legal practice, post-service life could be miserable for judges who were unable to buy or build their own homes before leaving the service. This challenge or circumstance has an embedded potential for encouraging corruption among judges with attendant negative consequences on impartial justice delivery. With the new policy, however, the state now bears full responsibility to providing befitting accommodation for all judicial officers of River State origin beyond their service years for life. The policy is implemented in either of two ways. Judges have a choice to receive a purpose-built house from the state government or opt for cash payment to build or buy their houses by themselves. Furthermore, the policy applies to all judicial officers of River State origin, including those serving in any of the federal judicial jurisdiction, that is the High Court or the Federal Capital Territory, the Federal High Court, the National Industrial Court, the Appeal Court, and the Supreme Court. And so today, we are putting practical effect to this policy with the commission of 24-bedroom duplexes and the presentation of several occupancies to 12 judges who have opted for these houses. The state government spent the sum of 6 billion naira to build, furnish, and landscape this estate and reserve the government's interest to buy back and reallocate to other judges to preserve its exclusivity as an estate for judicial officers. In essence, if a judge wants to sell, the River State government has the first option. We will say we'll buy it, because what we are saying is that we don't want you to sell to any other person other than River State government, so we can actually allocate it to future judges. So it's not where your son-in-law or your daughter will come and occupy it. No, it's for judges. If you retire, you want to sell it, River State government will buy it. That's important. So we will not allow any other person to stay here except you are a judge or a retired judge. Similarly, 23 of the judges who opted for cash payment have received the approved sum of 150 million naira each to build or buy their own houses. Cumulatively, the state government disbursed the sum of 3.6 billion to the beneficiaries for this purpose. So judges who do not understand this place, we have given them their money to go and buy or build the way they want it. If they don't want the taste, we have the standard. Some people can have higher standard than this, but this is what we can provide. So judges who want better standard than this, we have provided the cash to them. So nobody will say that they have not gotten. It's not a promissory note, no. We have given, backed up by cash, and every judge has gotten. I'm not calling the judges' name here so that they don't become victims. But for record purposes, just that those who opted not to have here have gotten their cash back. But whom they are, I do not know.
the Chief Judge will provide that information. The policy also covers all former Chief Judges and Presidents of the Customer Court of Appeal accordingly. Honorable Justice Ichendu, Honorable Justice Tezio Kocha, and Honorable Justice P.S. Agmagu, who were former Chief Judges of River State and President of Appeal, have also been provided with their own accommodation, so that it is not as if you are serving, and that's why we are doing that. And all retired judges who were here when their policy was made, we have also provided them, so that it will not look as if they retired and they did not benefit. But since they were here when the policy was made, they are also entitled to it, and we have provided them for all of them. And of course, the President of the Court of Appeal also is entitled to her own accommodation, and which before she reaches her office today, she would have called the Chief Judge to say, I can talk to you later. So, I can talk to you later. That is the statement I just said. The current State Chief Judge, by the grace of God, will be retiring next year, May. By the end of this December, she will have her own private residence as a retired Chief Judge of River State. We are giving the state of the art for her, so that she will not say because she's not from River State, they didn't want to give me a befitting accommodation. She will have the best. She will have the best, and that's because of her service to the state. The fact bears repeating that the need to guarantee judicial independence and secure the effective administration of justice are the overriding considerations for the unprecedented investments we have made and will continue to make in our judicial system. I cannot think of any other state government in this country that provided similar welfare scheme with profound positive impact for its judicial officers. We are therefore happy and fulfilled not only with the success of this policy, but also with all other impressive strides we have recorded in moving our judiciary from the valley of neglect to the enviable hilltop of independence, capacity, and effectiveness. With just as absurd, the insinuation in some familiar quarters that our judges are undeserving of the comprehensive benefits we are providing to secure their comfort and enhance their productivity. Those who peddle such talks and disparaging insinuations forget that the executive and the legislature enjoy far more benefits than the judiciary, which is a co-equal arm of government. As a government, part of our responsibility is to provide conducive working environment, including comfortable office and family residences for public functionaries, institutions, and agencies. And this we have done for several agencies across the three arms of government, including federal agencies that are present in the state. We are presently constructing 32 units of 4-bedroom duplexes by Julius Berger for members of the State House of Assembly. We built 24 units of 3-bedroom apartments for medical doctors and senior civil servants, while 64 units of 1-bedroom houses meant for house officers are currently under construction. We provided office accommodation to the West African Examination Council, the National Examination Council, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, and the Nigerian Correctional Service. We built 50 units of 1-bedroom houses for the Department of State Services, 24 units of 2-bedroom bungalows for the Nigerian Air Force, and a duplex guest house for the Chief of Army Staff in Port Harcourt. We also built 1-bedroom flats of 50 units for the Nigerian Navy. We have reached advanced stages with the construction of hostel buildings, internal road network, and 1,500 capacity auditorium for the National Youth Service Corps Orientation Camp at Donla. We contributed to the building of the National Secretariat of Nigerian Bar Association with a floor named after Rivers State on account of our financial contribution. We have built secretariats for the state branches of Nigerian Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, and Rivers State Students Union. We have built secretariats, we have given money and built for the 8 branches of Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja, Bori, Degema, Isobo, and the rest of them. We made contributions, gave them money to build their own secretariats. We recently procured 4 new trucks for the Nigerian Correctional Services for transportation of prison inmates to the courts and return. Just a few days ago, we decided to intervene in the post-state of facilities in the Inegua campus of Nigerian Law School with ban offer to construct 2 900-bed capacity hostels and 1,500 capacity auditorium for the Nigerian Law School. What is true of our approach in the conduct of government business is to carry the entire state along as much as possible and give every facet of society a sense of belonging in the provision of office and residential accommodation. And in doing so, the need and relevance to the socio-economic progress of our state and our people remain the overriding consideration, just as we do not discriminate between state and federal agencies, inasmuch as the interest of our people is duly served. Therefore, if we can patronize and provide all this and more for both state and federal agencies and institutions, what is wrong in extending similar patronage to the judiciary and judicial officers commensurate with the burden of their office? What is good for the executive and the legislature should equally be good for the judiciary. We are encouraged by the grateful spirit demonstrated by judicial officers for this gesture, which we hope will spur greater commitment and contribute to higher levels of quality, efficiency, and productivity in the discharge of their judicial functions. Finally, we have decided to immortalize and honor the memory of our late former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice by naming this estate Chinwe Aguma, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Judges Quarters, in fulfillment of our promise during his funeral service at St. Paul's Cathedral, Joe, Port Harcourt, on the 16th of September 2018. The late Chinwe Aguma was very passionate about this project, and until his untimely death, worked arduously with us towards its realization. My Lord, in conclusion, I will invite Your Lordship, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably presented by Justice Mary Ukego Peter Odley, Justice of Supreme Court, to step forward to make his remarks and distribute the certificate of occupancy to the honorable judges. We noted that, my Lord will notice that 8 houses will be vacant for want of occupiers. There are 20, by giving 12. So the other 8, we want to ask my Lord the Chief Justice to give more allocation for the appointment of judges in Rivers State. We need more 8 so they can occupy the vacant houses. Thank you, my Lord, as you present some of the occupancy. Thank you very much.
Please be seated. Once again, Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, I would want to render the apologies of the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, CFR. He himself would have come, but something cropped up and he had to ask me to represent him. I am deeply honored to be here representing the Chief Justice of Nigeria. I will deliver the speech of the Chief Justice. Speech of the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, CFR, at the inauguration of newly completed residential estate for judges of the State High Court and justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, on Thursday, 3rd September 2020. Your Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Ezenwo-Wike, CON, Your Excellency, the First Lady of Rivers State, the Honorable Justice Eberechi Suzette Nyesom-Wike, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Dr. Palibo Haribanigu, the Honorable Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, the President of the Court of Appeal had to leave because she's getting back to Abuja right now. Presiding justices and other justices of the Court of Appeal here present, my lords, the Chief Judge of Rivers State and the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, judges of Rivers State, the President, Customary Court of Appeal, Rivers State, the Honorable Attorney General, and Commissioner of Justice and members of the Rivers State Executive Council, honorable members of Rivers State House of Assembly, our esteemed royal fathers, my lords, spiritual and temporal, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. That is the protocol of the Honorable the Chief Justice. But I have to, since I am present here and have met a lot of people I cannot ignore. The President of the Bar Association of Nigeria, Olumide Akpata, past President of the Bar Association, Chiefson Osije Okocha, Lady Hannah Aguma, matriarch of the Aguma family, my dear auntie, the former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Austin Okara, learned senior advocates of Nigeria here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to be here today to inaugurate the residential estate newly completed by His Excellency Nyesom-Wike for judges of the State High Court and justices of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division. This is an uncommon feat, especially in our climate where a wall of demarcation is often consciously erected between state projects and federal projects, which has often crippled our national development. I must say without equivocation that Rivers State occupies an enviable position among the committee of states that are passionate about the welfare and comfort of their respective judiciaries. I sincerely commend your effort and urge you to keep the lofty passion aglow for the ultimate good of Rivers State judiciary and by extension, the Nigerian judiciary. You have remained one of those lawyers in position of authority that have relentlessly lent a strong voice to the progress and prosperity of the judiciary, especially the seamless administration of justice. You have, thus far, given a good account of yourself as a distinguished member of the body of benchers, in fact, a life member, and we're proud of that. Lagos and Rivers State rank among the most litigious states in the country. The implication is that all the facilities, manpower and materials alike, are perennially stretched far beyond limits to attend to the fusillade of cases that are filed on a daily basis. That literally explains the enormity of work judges in these two states are inundated with on a regular basis. A good shelter, a good car, and of course, a good welfare package, to mention a few, are those basic incentives that could remarkably serve as the magic wand to bring out the genesis in them for optimum performance. In all these areas, Your Excellency has excelled. A renowned psychologist, Abraham Maslow, has stated in his, quote, need hierarchy theory, unquote, in 1943, that shelter, which falls under the physiological needs of man, plays a dominant role in human behavior, as it largely regulates his demeanor and disposition. A judicial officer without a roof over his head can never be in the right frame of mind to adjudicate. What this implies is that whenever we deliberately or inadvertently toy with the welfare of our judicial officers, we are consciously inflicting a devastating wound on the conscience of our nation. We are not ignorant of your administration's huge investment in the infrastructure of the federal judiciary in the state. You are one of the few governors who had pledged to give judges owner-occupier residence so that when they eventually retire, they will get a lifetime accommodation. Today, that pledge has not only been fulfilled, but has formed part of our history. Your effort will tremendously improve the service delivery and comfort of our judicial officers. This indeed a bold step worthy of commendation and emulation. The time to change the unpalatable narrative has come. The judiciary deserves more than it is currently getting. The good example emanating from Rivers State should be a model to be adopted and replicated across the country. We strongly condemn a situation where chief judges will be going to their governors cap in hand to solicit for funds to run the judiciary. Nigeria has all it takes to be a pace setter in Africa, and I fervently believe the time has come for us to begin to occupy the pride of place that is rightfully ours on the continent. This reverse formula is a good antidote to the age-long infrastructural deficit in the Nigerian judiciary at all levels. Your Excellency has, by this unique gesture, demonstrated that public service ideally has no limitation or encumbrance whatsoever. After all, it is not obligatory on you to undertake the renovation or reconstruction of the facilities of federal judiciary in your state, but the passion for public service that is inherent in you informed the decision. Your salutary effort deserves acknowledgement and commendation. The judiciary under our watch will always uphold the rule of law, supremacy of the Constitution, and strict adherence to all binding court orders. The court exists to protect the rights of all citizens against any form of oppression, suppression, or repression by anybody in whatever position. We are poised, as always, to defend these rights, not minding whose ox is God. To the glory of Almighty God, I hereby commission this befitting residential estate for use by our honorable judges and justices of the Rivers State Judiciary and the Court of Appeal. Thank you, and may God bless you. Okay.
Because names are written on the front. Support them to come
out. May I call on Honorable Justice Joy Nne Abubule, plot 15. Honorable Justice T. Irikefe, plot 18. Honorable Justice Lemia Mbo Abina, plot 8. Honorable Justice C.D. Green, plot 19. Honorable Justice Augusta U. Kingsley, Chukwu, Plot 20. Honorable Justice Godwin O. Olo, Plot 11. Honorable Justice Hariba J. Dagogoja, Plot 6. Honorable Justice Lebo J. Senewa, Plot 1. Oh, there's doctor. Honorable Justice Whaley Amabi Cheche, Plot 12. Whaley Cheche. Honorable Justice Florence A. Fibresma, Plot 13. Thank you. Honorable Justice Chinwendu, Plot 3.
So you can invite Lady Hannah.
You say?
Lady Hannah join you.
Yes.
And then join the state judge.
Please, may I invite Lady Hannah Goma to join us for the next session?
Please, can I invite the members of the body of senior advocates and all our judges to join me, Lord, in this symbolic commission.
Hold. Yeah, man, I think I easily. When they are talking, when they don't go, everybody don't go.
We have come to the high point of the event, the commissioning of the 20-unit Chinwe Aguma Judges Quarters. Earlier, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, ably represented by Justice Mary Odili, had presented or handed over to the owner-occupier of the facility via certificate. And now the commissioning.
Dr. Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, CFR, Chief Justice of Nigeria, I hereby commission the judiciary quarters named after Chinwe Aguma, Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Governor Nyesom Wike, the commissioning the 20 units Chinwe Aguma facility for judges. And soon they will go on an inspection tour of the facility. The 20 units housing is a 5-bedroom duplex.
Advocate of Nigeria, Judges Quarters, built by Nyesom Wike, Governor of Rivers State, commissioned by the Honorable Justice Dr. Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, Chief Justice of Nigeria, on 3rd September 2020. To God be the glory.
The project was flagged off by the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onega, and is today commissioned by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ibrahim Tanko. The ultra-modern judges' quarters comprises of 205-bedroom luxurious duplexes with detached bungalow service quarters. It is to solve problem of accommodation by the judges. Earlier, Governor Nyesom Wike and the Chief Justice of Nigeria had commissioned quarters for judges of the Court of Appeal, all in a willful attempt to solve the problem of accommodation for judges on retirement. In addition to the quarter, Governor Nyesom Wike had earlier presented 41 SUV cars to judges in Rivers State Judiciary and of Rivers State origin in the federal judiciary. This is in addition to over 5 flyovers constructed by this administration to decongest traffic and boost the aesthetic of the state. Of course, judges in the state have cause to smile because their progenitor is himself a legal luminary. And now the Governor and the Chief Justice of Nigeria is on inspection tour of the facility. Governor Nyesom Wike, in his speech earlier, said the accommodation will spur and encourage the judges and other judicial officers to readily discharge their duties and ensure due administration of justice. Located at Amadi Flat, Old GRA, Port Harcourt, Governor Nyesom Wike said it's funny to find that when judges retire, they do not have a place to stay or are compelled to stay in remote places after years of service. So his administration thought that there is need to give them a befitting place after retirement. The 20 units quarters is built and furnished by Governor Yeson Wike. We have 5 rooms, duplex, 5-bedroom duplex with detached bungalows with kitchen, well furnished. And stores. The 5 bedrooms have 6 toilets. The quarters is built for judges on an owner-occupier basis to enable them get decent accommodation after retirement. The facility, Governor Wike said, corruption cannot be fought if the judiciary is not given the needed support it requires. He also noted that the accommodation will boost their morale to confidently discharge their duties. The facility, Governor Wike says, will boost their morale to confidently discharge their duties. It is built for judges on an owner-occupier basis to enable them get decent accommodation after retirement. It will be recalled that the governor had earlier commissioned quarters for judges of the Court of Appeal, all in a willful attempt to solve the problem of accommodation for judges on retirement. The 20 units quarters has 5 rooms with detached service quarters, car parks, lawn tennis and basketball court, football field, well furnished, all in a willful attempt to solve accommodation problem for judges after retirement. The project was flagged off by the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onega, and today is being commissioned by Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko. We have come to the end of our outside broadcast. Remember that coronavirus is real. Take responsibility and follow all protocols of NCDC. On behalf of the outside broadcast crew, I am Jenny Passy, thanking you for watching.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Parenting can be quite difficult these days.
But this one that you're doing is not good though. I will not hesitate to withdraw her from that school.
It's even harder for young parents when they might feel the least prepared.
I will never forgive you if my daughter does not come back home safe and sound.
So this now too is my fault.
But with the right help, it can be the most fulfilling task in the world.
You will be working in a household as a governess.
This is Miss Nena, our new governess.
And you are?
Kofi Mensah, the chef.
Which chef?
I really would want you to come to the UK with me.
That sounds quite inviting. Auntie, no, they use this kind jazz they play. Oh. All these spirits self they walk around us. Oh.
And a big family can stay a happy family. The Babintin Family, drama for the whole family. Now showing.
Do you not know that our enemies have no face? They are indigents of no state. They come from no place. And if this boat capsizes, every one of us will go under. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer. Do not say, I am the Iroko when the forest is burning. Do not say, I am the Obeche when the forest is burning. Our differences will not stop us from perishing together. So when the drums sound, let everybody answer.
Akili, 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 akili. Will you wash your hands with me? I want to wash my hands with you. Come on, I will show you what to do. Wash your hands in clean water. Wash your hands, wet them with the water. Wash your hands, now add some soap. Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands and go.
Akili, why do we wash our hands?
To wash away the germs.
Akili, what are germs?
They're like tiny little bugs on your hands and they can make you sick.
But I don't see any germs on my hand.
That's because they're so tiny that you can't even see them.
Oh, wow. I want to wash the germs away. Will you wash your hands with me, Akili?
Of course! Wash your hands in clean water. Wash your hands, wet them with the water. Wash your hands, now add some soap. Scrub your hands in the soap and water. Scrub above and below between the fingers too. Scrub under your nails and scrub-a-dub-a-doo. Rinse your hands in water. Rinse them clean, rinse away the soap. Dry your hands and go. Great job, Haruma! Can you tell me the 4 things we did to wash our hands?
I can try.
1.
Wet our hands with water.
2.
Put soap on our hands.
3.
Scrub our hands all over.
4.
Rinse our hands clean with water.
That's right! You got
wash your hands, wash the germs away.
This is NTA International.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve.
Hello and welcome. Here are the stories trending at this hour. I am Joyce Ometu. The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Lagos State has begun the quest to find a suitable candidate to fill the vacuum created by the demise of Bayo Oshinowo, the senator representing Lagos East at the National Assembly who passed on in June this year. As at 9 o'clock this morning, party faithful are at various polling units across the senatorial districts to exercise their franchise. At Ward A in Shomolu local government, accreditation has been concluded while voting is underway to validate the constitutional requirement for fielding a candidate that will contest the October by-election. However, only one aspirant is standing the validity test. Now talking security, troops of Operation Accord have killed 4 bandits at Jekada Rabi area along Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. A statement by the Coordinated Defense Media Operation, Major General John Enneche, indicates that acting on credible intelligence on the movement of bandits from Kachia area, troops swiftly mobilized to the scene and laid ambush. The gallant troops engaged the bandits, neutralizing 4, while others escaped with gunshot wounds. Major General John Enneche notes that several arms were recovered while troops dominate the general area with aggressive patrols in search of the fleeing bandits. The military high command congratulates the troops for their dexterity and encourages them to intensify the onslaught against the criminal elements in the country. Talking COVID-19 now, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 216 new cases of COVID-19 in the country. The cases are from 15 states and the FCT. This brings the total number of confirmed cases to 54,463, 42,439 discharged with 1,027 deaths recorded. Meanwhile, India has confirmed 83,883 new cases of coronavirus infection. This brings India's total number of confirmed cases to more than 3.8 million, just 100,000 behind Brazil, the country with the second highest number of cases in the world. Maharashtra, the worst hit state, saw a daily increase of more than 17,000 infections, its highest so far in one day. And those are the stories trending at this time. Thanks for watching. I am Joyce Umetu.
Welcome to this edition of Platform. I'm Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Nigeria, less than a decade ago, accounted for more than half of all global cases of wild polio virus. Polio usually affects children under 5, sometimes leading to irreversible paralysis. Death can also occur when breathing muscles are affected. On the 18th of June 2020, the African Regional Certification Commission accepted all certification documentation of Nigeria, and thereafter, August 29, 2020, declared Nigeria, and indeed the entire WHO Africa region, free from the wild polio virus. Experts say these celebrations are a culmination of 3 decades of hard work and dedication of the Nigeria's polio eradication initiative. This edition of Platform examines Nigeria's polio-free status, challenges and prospects. Our guest is Africa's and indeed one of the world's leading virologists, Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi. With more than 3 decades of experience in clinical medicine and public health, Professor Nasidi was for 16 years Nigeria's chief epidemiologist and retired in 2011. He became Pioneer Director General, National Center for Disease Control, NCDC, in 2011. Professor Nasidi also served as Executive Director, ECHO's Regional Center for Disease Control. He is currently Provost, College of Health Sciences, University of Africa, Toruarua in Bayelsa State. Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi, welcome to Platform.
Thank you for having me.
On the panelist corner is our head of NTA Health Desk, Rabi Abdullah.
Thank you. Welcome, viewers.
Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi, welcome once again, and let's begin from the beginning, as they usually say. We will come to the issue of celebration and the Nigeria's polio-free status. But what exactly is the history or the epidemiology of polio in Nigeria?
Well, I think it's better to start with the history of the disease eradication. How come the world decided to eradicate polio? And how did Nigeria come to, take active part? One, we start by, seeing that was it possible to really eradicate any disease at all? And to eradicate means you will be able to not just remove the disease, but the cause of the disease from a community and the environment. So that means you are eradicating the disease. The world had an experience with smallpox. And in the late 60s, early 70s, the world saw that smallpox affects only humans. There is no animal reservoir. And it has a vaccine that was actually protecting people, okay? And that if they can work together, all countries to come and get everybody immunized, then the virus can be eliminated and the disease eradicated. So that effort was championed by the World Health Organization. And by the year 1990, the world was completely free of smallpox, even much earlier, but certification and all this. So the experts now came together and said, let's look for any other second disease that we could do the same. So the idea of eradicating polio, came up. Why is it that polio was targeted? Just like smallpox, polio virus, affects only humans. It doesn't have any animal reservoir. So it doesn't survive long outside human body. In the environment, it doesn't survive long. It has two cheap vaccines. One is killed, developed by one Dr. Salk, an American, and then the other one is live, vaccine, developed by another American-Russian scientist called Sabin. So, and all these vaccines cost cents, very cheap. So they said, oh, wonderful. Just like smallpox, why don't we face polio and see if we can all come together, bring all the nations together to, get it eradicated. And it started. It was a cheap vaccine. They could mass produce it. Humans are ready to get it. That time it was used only for routine immunization. So in 1988, the WHO launched this, global polio eradication initiative. And true to it, the results were phenomenal. Within 10 years, many countries, virtually eliminated the polio virus. No more polio cases. So before you can say it's a global victory, there should not be any country that will have one polio. So the global eradication initiative continued until when it came to just 4 countries left in the world. And I'm cutting the long story short. And these countries are Nigeria, Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan. So the competition started. How will Nigeria get out of this 4 quickly and make Africa polio-free? So Nigerian government, started real battle. To be frank, we have to praise all the Nigerian leaders from that 1988 till today. No new leader came in and did not prioritize polio eradication. So that helped us. So, but we had some challenges. Despite those good, how will I say, high-level advocacy coming from the presidents and heads of states. And that challenge, or the major challenge, was when rejection of the vaccine, came on the table. Some, intellectuals and some, religious groups are saying... Conspiracy theories are saying that we should be careful. The polio eradication strategy is actually targeted at reducing the population of either black people or people in the developing countries. So many people started pulling away from the polio immunization. But especially in Nigeria. The Nigerian one became so bad when some of the professors, intellectuals, started saying that this gonadotropin is a component of the vaccine, and that that component exists in each of the vaccine, and that is an agent that can actually sterilize women, make women not to take in, and whatever. So that theory was, supported by some leaders in Nigeria, some religious leaders, some governors. So all our achievements between 1988 and let's say 2005 was thrown to the dustbin. So we have to start all over again, re-strategize. But true to it, some of the governors who supported that theory, quickly understood that, there's need to pull back a little bit. And I will give a good example of Kano. Kano was where virtually the whole immunization against polio was rejected in the country. And it really shook us. It worried us a lot. It worried the then head of state and the president.
And it was in Kano that vaccinators were killed.
Exactly. So I will tell you. So now, how do we bring Kano back? And the governor then was Alhaji Shekarau. And he's an intellectual, he was virtually a professor and this, so we just thought, no, this shouldn't come from him. How do we approach him? And when I was made the chairman of the Presidential Task Force, I approached the governor, and I was lucky. He really agreed with me, understood what we were saying, and within a short period, of time, you know, he mobilized Kano so much that, you know, immunization against polio, you know, became so huge. And we reduced the wild polio, the circulating wild polio virus in Kano within 1.5 to 2 years by more than 98%. So he had a commissioner for health called Aisha Kiru. She was a tough lady. She was both commissioner for health and a woman leader, and a real, you know, foot soldier. She even got invited by the WHO. She addressed the WHO General Assembly. She really did very well. So we worked with them, and Kano became a state, you know, the avant-garde, you know, in polio eradication, you know, activity. So this is the story of the polio eradication in Nigeria, and when we had virtually attained what they call universal childhood immunization, you know, that is, each country should get their children by at least 80% fully immunized against all the childhood diseases. So we started 1988 during Ransom Kuti, and by 1990, in less than 2.5 years, we already attained universal childhood immunization. 80% of almost all Nigerian children were immunized, full campaigns, things were working. Then all of a sudden, unfortunately, things went bad, to the extent that at a stage in Nigeria, routine immunization became so bad that when they did this health and demographic survey, National Health and Demographic Survey, only about 11.7% Nigerian children were immunized. It was such a scandal. So we now just say we have to start all over. So that's how we now started building, do the routine immunization, strengthen it, and at the same time conduct campaigns, national immunization days, mop-up operations, etc., so that we can now achieve 2 goals. Goal number 1, strengthen our routine immunization and reach the universal childhood immunization, which is 80% coverage. And also goal number 2, eradicate polio, which means we must get all children, you know, immunized against polio so that we knock off the wild circulating polio virus.
Okay, Professor Nasidi, like you rightly said at the beginning, a lot of you know, political will at the highest level, concerted efforts on the part of traditional leaders and development partners saw us, you know, made progress to where we wanted to be, and that saw us experiencing a good moment from 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. That we even got to 2016, and we're at the verge. Everybody was warming up to when we get to that, you know, point where we could say Nigeria has successfully kicked polio out of its, you know, out of its shores. And something happened. All of a sudden, we had a retrogression. Start by sharing a personal experience. Where were you when you got the news of the fact that a case had been detected in Borno, which was a major setback for us?
Well, you know, we expected it.
How did you feel?
No, we expected it.
Okay.
Because to be able to knock off the wild polio virus everywhere, you must immunize the children. The active engagement, military engagement in Borno and Northeast made that task very difficult. So we knew that there will be hard-to-reach areas that will make the healthcare workers' life, you know, in danger, you know, if they go in there, until they have the collaboration of both sides, both the Nigerian military and then even the Boko Haram. They have to agree before you could reach those type of areas. Then the IDP camps, you know, if you know how they operate, you know, when an IDP center is established, you don't even know, you can't estimate how many people will end up there or how many children. And in a day, from the deep, you know, areas where the active engagement is going on, some of the members can, of the community can just move in and looking for where to camp and moving into the IDPs. So with that type of something, you will get so many unimmunized children coming in to mix up with immunized children, and then you can easily pick a wild polio virus circulating there. So when we got the news, we knew it was a setback, but we have another 2-3 years to clean up, do mop-up operations, and the Nigerian Primary Care and Development Agency and the partners, WHO, UNICEF, Rotary particularly, then the foundations that are helping, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Dangote Foundation, the Northern Traditional Rulers Group, and then the religious leaders. Everybody came together and it dawned on the people, both sides, both on the Boko Haram side and the Nigerian side, that every child should be protected. And so we were lucky to have, got the wild polio virus knocked off. In fact, I must say, many of our healthcare workers lost their lives. Many of the Nigerian military that really helped, to protect them and get this done, also lost their lives. So it was one of the toughest moments. It's like what the Hausas say, when they are shaving your head, it's more painful when it comes towards the end.
To the forehead.
To the forehead. So that is exactly the last lap of the fight was really, really tough. But we made it, and we're all proud of it.
Well, as a professor of epidemiology, at what point will you say polio became a public health emergency?
Yeah, so that is a very interesting question. And many experts in the world, at the initial stages, did not believe that polio was a global public health emergency. So when the idea came to eliminate polio, because of the reasons I gave, many of the experts just thought, no, a disease like TB, like diphtheria, these are killing children more than polio. Why? Malaria. Why are you choosing polio to eradicate? But the number of paralyzed children and all this thing was growing. It became embarrassing to the healthcare sector to see that, we have a disease that has a very cheap and most effective vaccine against it, and that we still fold our arms to keep seeing our children either dying, it doesn't kill much, but it kills, and then or getting paralyzed. So number of paralyzed children were so many. If you remember, not long ago, so many children on the wheel and all this and so on and so forth. So.
And we had some children probably whose parents had the dream of seeing their children become footballers, stars or something.
Yeah, in fact, I will come to that. So you will see the people who initiated it, who pushed it. Some of them were doctors who were involved in the eradication of smallpox. They said, no, let's declare it a global public health emergency of international concern and put it as an obligation by all nations to participate and declare that polio must be eradicated. So at the WHO meeting, the World Assembly of 1988, that decision was taken, endorsed by everybody. So all nations now made it that polio is a disease of global emergency. And I think, the WHO regions were now given a target on, say, let's make sure that by the year 2000, polio should be eradicated worldwide. It was, the strategy to do it was planned and endorsed. 2000 came, the disease that they used to see 400 cases in the 90s and all this, 400,000. We managed to reduce them that by the year 2000, you see only about 2,000, 4,000 cases worldwide. And then by the year 2005, so they couldn't attain that, so they shifted it to 2005. Still, they couldn't attain it, they keep shifting it. Yeah. It's like health for all by the year 2000. So by the time it now dawned on everybody that, oh, many countries can easily, get rid of this polio, even if there are wars, like Angola. They had a civil war, very serious one, but they removed the virus from their country within a short period of time because all those participating in the struggle, in the fight, agreed to immunize their children. So why should Nigeria be among the 4 countries that were not eliminating polio virus? It became a real scandal for us. We started looking for the reason. Yeah, I'm sure you have heard about Professor Yewale Tomori. He's one of our leading virologists, and Professor Idris Mohammed, and Professor Tekena Hari, and so many other public health workers. And my good self. We started thinking, what is the problem, and how should we re-strategize? And of course, all the heads of the NPCD, Nigerian Primary Care Development Agency, the different ones that came and were all thinking together to see how we can resolve this problem. And we came to realize that there are 2 major problems. One, and it's the most important one, is acceptance of the vaccine. The moment the community denies the immunization, it becomes a huge problem. And I'll give you an example. When I was appointed the chairman of the Presidential Task Force, we decided to move to get the community to understand. So we decided to go to the most difficult communities that have rejected totally immunization. There's one in Zaria. There are some mostly in Sokoto, Zamfara, and then Kano. So we decided to take that pathway. So I said, but if I go as a just medical doctor or medical team, it doesn't make sense. We need sociologists, we need media experts, theater experts that can understand why is the community rejecting this. In that mission, I took one of you that time, Peter Ego. Then I took some sociologists from the university. So we had about 5, 6 Land Cruisers. We were moving together. And we went to Zaria, and they warned me not to go to a particular area because if I go there, there's one man, he could even kill us. And you cannot believe it. We went to Zaria on an immunization day, and we met so many children playing football. And some of them were mostly above 5 years old, and this. We had sweets, we had this. So we mixed up with them. Our team were trying to see how they can start the immunization. And the small of them that we had, we said, let's see if we can join them to play the football. It made a huge difference. We joined them, and we realized that among some of them, there are tiny children. How old are you? They will say, I'm 10. Some will say they are 4. So the age group was between 4 to about 12. So we're saying if there are 12-year-old children that are even, not immunized, and they can catch from the younger ones. So we decided to say, okay, all of them will get sweet, but we shall drop this vaccine in their mouth, irrespective of their age. So we did so. But of course, before we did that, we had to go to the leader of that community who accepted us. Now, the next is to go to that area of Zaria city.
Where the tough guy was.
Where the tough guy was. And I went straight to his house. When I went straight to his house in the Zaure, I met somebody almost 90-year-old. They said that's his father. So I told him my mission. He said, he's advising me to go because he's at home and he can be wild. He can come out and all this. So as we were talking, he said, we should move. I said, no. He can't do anything to me. I'm from Kano. We are friends here. And I've come to exchange small words with him. To cut a long story short, one of the wives came out with a child. And you can't believe it. Her has already polio.
They were already paralyzed.
Paralyzed. So as soon as she came out, I saw the leg. So my partner, another doctor said, sir, this boy has polio. And that was his child. And then Peter Ego also saw it. And we said, this is serious. So I took the baby. I was holding the baby. I said, now at least he can't kill me. Before he kills me, I had to kill his child. So I held on tight to that child. And the child really, held as if he knew me years ago. So the mother started crying. So the father told his wife to go and call him out.
That's the grandfather.
The grandfather. So he was very angry. Then they called him out. So when he came, he said, "What am I doing here?" I said, "Look at me, what I'm doing. I have come to take care of your child and to greet you. Is it a crime to greet somebody even in Islam? You have to say Assalamu alaikum first." And I engaged him. To say the least, we ended up being the best of friends. That guy became one of the guys that moved to get all Zaria children immunized.
He became an advocate.
I sponsored the child up to university level.
Interesting.
So now the last part of it is in Sokoto, and that is one of the most important aspects in polio eradication in Nigeria. We realized that any place we went to before we reached Sokoto town, nobody wants to talk to us. So now we are with a WHO guy, with these other experts. So I now told our people in the evening when we were around Gusau, I said, we can't succeed if we don't reach the Sultan of Sokoto. I will have shown you the picture. In fact, that picture went around the world. They say, how? I say, if Sultan can come out and immunize the children, we have the picture, we show everybody, it will make a huge difference. Believe me, that's what we did. We went, the Sultan categorically told us he's no longer interested in polio, this, and so on and so forth. Allah Shehu Shagarim is, was there. He was one of the palace chiefs. And I now...
He was one of the councillors.
I now knelt down, Rakin Sokoto, I knelt down and begged His Eminence, Sultan of Sokoto, to please...
You are talking of late Sir Abubakar. Sultan Abubakar.
No, this current one. This current one.
Muhammad Saad Abubakar?
Muhammad Saad Abubakar.
So which year was that?
This was 1990, is it 2006 or 2005? Yeah. Okay. So between those years. So he came out. He now agreed. Surprisingly, he agreed. So we rushed. I said, bring some children. And they brought the children. And, the WHO guy had a fantastic camera and took the picture. And from then on, we started showing this picture anywhere we went to. It made a huge difference. So Sultan contributed immensely. And from that time, any president, any government, any MPCDA director that comes must go to the Sultan. And then when we brought Bill Gates as one of our greatest advocates, we also took him to the Sultan. So this is the story of how...
The strategies you adopted.
The strategies were adopted to get people to this. In one of the villages near Sokoto, where was, even worse than Zaria. Nobody can even go to the village because of one malam there. We entered the village. And you know what we did? We bought footballs, the balls with us, and entered the village with this Hausa music from Kano in our loudspeakers, and organized football match between two teams. Nasidi team, Peter Ego team. Gave them the balls, and they started, playing. We sponsored this and bought minerals, bought this. The village was agog. Then you could see some women who come with their children already paralyzed, looking very sad. Then behind me, the Malam came. And somebody who saw him thought he was going to either stab me or whatever, and so on and so forth. So the guy rushed to me and said, be careful. That wicked man is behind you. So when I turned and I saw him, without joined eyes, as they say in Nigeria, and I told him, oh, so we are one of the people that I have come to greet. Barka, what's your name? He didn't answer me. To call the long story short, at the end of the day, when we are now honoring those who won, of course, luckily my team won. And now we are giving the goodies and all this. Now I invited him and showed him the picture of myself and the Sultan.
And the Sultan, yes.
Immunizing a child. He froze, he looked like this. He just didn't know what to do. As I told him, I said, the time has changed. And this is Allah working. You can't go against Allah. Every child in this village must be immunized. We did not leave the town or that village without getting every child immunized.
Well, Professor Nasiri, thank God that all those efforts yielded the needed results. Especially we know the contribution that the Northern traditional rulers particularly made in Nigeria's efforts at polio eradication. Let's talk about the place of the EOCs now. They said the emergence of the emergency operation centers, it's something that we cannot discuss Nigeria's journey without mention. Some even have described it as a very strong game changer. Can you take us through what, how did it come to be and the role it actually played and is still playing, even in our current situation, talking about the COVID-19?
Yeah. You know, the EOC is like the war room. You know, you can't go into the war theater without having the commanders, you know, having a war room where they, you know, really will see anything happening and where they should, you know, block, how they should attack, how they should retreat and others. So by the time we saw that we needed a better coordinating mechanism to make our response more effective, we now realize that it's not just issue of having Ministry of Health, you know, doing the disease surveillance, also because there are three components of the strategy. You know, one is to do the routine immunization. The second one is to do supplementary immunization, which is this national immunization days they do. Then the other one is to do the mop-up, you know, if it's already been eliminated. So all this were being handled by the Ministries of Health or either federal level or state, even though we have many actors, you know, WHO, UNICEF, Rotary, all this. So it now became obvious. How can you have a coordinating mechanism that will, you know, take into consideration the roles of all these other actors, a multi-sectoral approach? So it now became obvious that the best thing to do is to establish an emergency operating center. So declare any immunization against polio and this thing anywhere as an emergency. Then secondly, it became very much more important to have real-time information. Real-time information, what is happening now. I'll give you an example. I went to Kano. My house was in Abuja, and I woke up in the morning and said, let me go and see, so it was a National Immunization Day, let me go and see what's happening in some of the immunization centers. I went to the one near my house first. Then from there, I was there for about 1 hour. From there, I said, let me go to one near Tarauni or one of these areas in Kano. Lucky, what saved me is this machine here that you are seeing, this telephone. As I was on my way, just about to reach that place that we chose, where they advised me to go to, I had a call consistently, so I answered the call. Make a U-turn, don't go there, don't go there. What's happening? They say some terrorists went there and killed the team, immunization team, and even some of the parents. It was such a tragedy.
That was in 2013?
Yeah, 2013. So it was so terrible. I was so terrified. By the time I understand what was happening, they asked me to go to Kano Teaching Hospital. Now we went and met young people with immunization apparels and all this lying dead. It was such a terrible situation. So this type of emergency things, response activities, also necessitated the EOC. Then the last part of this is that the EOC, you know, developed something that is very important, which is now being used even for COVID-19. It was used for Ebola. That is to have a dashboard. A dashboard just, you know, where you can get snapshot of this and of what is happening now in Nigeria as regards polio. How many children immunized, how many cases have been found, how many from why polio virus, how many from vaccine virus, and so on and so forth. So, introduction of the emergency operating centers and this dashboard made a huge difference in our response to polio and subsequently to other diseases.
So what can you say about the vaccine itself and then the skepticism that came along with it? How effective was the vaccine, and or it's still effective maybe, in spite of the fact that we have eradicated it in Nigeria?
Yeah, as I said from beginning, the polio vaccine is one of the most effective vaccines ever developed. And luckily, it's cheap. One, the first vaccine that was developed was a killed vaccine. So the guy who developed it identified the virus, isolated it, and inactivated it by killing it, and then started immunizing children through the syringe, with the syringe. Now, poliovirus multiplies very fast in what they call cells. So that means if you can adapt it severally into some of the cells, it will grow and it will lose its potency to cause disease. But it is the same virus. So this doctor, called Sabin.
Dr. Sabin.
Dr. Sabin. He now said he believes polio can be controlled easier or even eradicated if there is a live vaccine against it. So he now developed this live vaccine. So that live vaccine, let me tell you the advantages. One, it was easier to produce. You just harvest, grow, harvest, and then purify. It's the cheapest to, how will I say, apply. You don't need syringe. You don't need any, wash your hands, put some antiseptics, and then every child comes, you just a drop or 2 or 3 to the mouth. It was so easy. And the last one is the logistics. You don't need to carry much. Can you imagine if you have to give killed vaccine? You need to take the vaccine in a cold chain, boxes of syringes, swab, this, that. So you might need larger space to go with the killed vaccine than with the live vaccine. Live vaccine, you can immunize a whole village with just a Land Cruiser and the boots. You just carry the vaccine and immunize.
So that generally facilitated or fast-tracked the eradication?
Absolutely, it helped a lot.
You talked a little about the tragedy in Kano. Of course, there was another tragedy, the Pfizer controversy.
Yes.
Is it related to the polio eradication effort?
Yeah, the Pfizer controversy, or the drug called Trovan, was not related to polio eradication, but it worsened our ability, it worsened the situation, and made people to even reject the vaccine more. And the story is that we had triple tragedy, we used to call it, outbreak of meningitis, cholera, and measles at the same time in Kano, 1996, 1997. And meningitis was so severe, I've never seen such outbreak. So Professor Idris Mohammed and I were there to coordinate. I from the Ministry of Health, then the minister made him the chairman, to make sure that we get this, and so that I will be moving up and down. And Pfizer came up with a drug which actually is effective. So it's effective against bacteria that are like the one for meningitis. So they introduced it into Nigeria, brought it in. Before we know where we are, we just went one day to the center, the infectious disease center where they were treating the patient, and we saw them trying the drug on children, even taking their
without any formal permission.
Yeah, they said, so when we asked them, at least I should have known, Professor Idris Mohammed should have known. How they said, they wrote to the Federal Minister of Health, they got a letter, they got this, they got that, and they kept, taking samples from the spine of the children and giving them the Trovan. So
they more or less used them as guinea pigs.
Virtually.
As guinea pigs.
It was a big scandal. So we rejected, and we reported their behavior, to the government. So there's a minister who was not decided, was virtually supporting them, and at the end of the day, the federal government instituted a committee to investigate that outbreak. By chance, again, I was the chairman, and we found them guilty. That even though the drug, could be effective, but their approach, this thing was very unethical, and so they are liable. So that is a long story. Let me bring it back to polio. That singular activity made it even worse. That the people said, "See, we told you they're using us as guinea pigs."
So it affected their trust
in public health response. It was very bad. In fact, not only Kano, later many other countries too heard about it and started rejecting immunization. So, but by the time it settled a little bit down, we now came back to our polio eradication. And
how did the role of polio survivors really facilitated your efforts at eradication?
That was a very great question. And, I couldn't have even finished this without, talking about the importance of their role. For instance, they have an association. And do you know the effect of seeing a child, that is paralyzed, or an adult who will come out in the language of the community and tell them, these people are talking to you about this disease that has affected me. Look at me now, you are all standing, I can't stand. You all can run, if there's trouble, I can't run. Because of this, had it been when I was a child, I was given a drop of this that they want to drop in your child's mouth now. If you know how that affected the community, it was really, really, something, that you can't believe. So, in fact, how would I say, they need to be honored as, one of the key actors that made it possible.
The success story that Nigeria is talking about today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The ultimate is for nations to become, free of the wild polio virus, just like Nigeria is still basking in that euphoria. And can you give us a clear distinction between the wild polio virus and the vaccine-derived polio? Because I've heard people said it's over, yet it's not over, because the aspect of vaccine-derived polio is another issue. Just take us through.
How can a country get vaccine-derived polio?
What's the difference?
Distinct from the wild polio virus?
Okay, so the wild polio virus is the one that they acquire, as I told you, when they are playing together, mostly through water, drinking, or contact in the schools and all, whatever. And that one is the wicked one, very wicked, because it has all the potencies to paralyze the child and even kill the child in the brain. Now, the vaccine-derived polio, paralysis, is from the live vaccine only. The kill vaccine does not cause vaccine-derived polio. That's why some of the scientists started agitating that enough, stop using the live polio vaccine now. Let's now go to use the killed polio vaccine, because killed polio vaccine will not lead to any vaccine-derived paralysis. So why is it happening? I told you the live polio vaccine is the attenuation or making the wild polio virus weak, and it loses its potency. So when you are now sure that it has no longer potency to cause paralysis, you now have a live vaccine. But nature, some of them, one in maybe 100 or 500,000 or 2, 3 in 1 million, can escape. Can escape. So there is now this group of viruses that are from the vaccine strain that can paralyze the children. Yeah. So you have to choose between knocking off the wild polio virus from your country and remain, with the vaccine-derived possible ones that could occur, which are very few.
So is that possibility existing in Nigeria now? Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely so. But, even if you have vaccine-derived polio, it's no longer a polio outbreak per se. So it will not be regarded as wild polio virus coming back to Nigeria. Okay. So it will be occurring until after some time when we wean off the immunization, then there will be no need anymore for polio vaccine immunization.
What do you say to possibilities, according to some experts, that even the wild polio virus itself can return.
Yeah, it's very possible because up to tomorrow we have 2 countries that are, still having polio, wild polio virus, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, we have, military trade missions, additional contact with Pakistan in particular. We don't have that contact with Afghanistan much. So the chance of getting wild polio virus coming from Afghanistan to Nigeria is very minimal. But with Pakistan, we can never say no. We have a lot of Pakistanis in Nigeria. Many Nigerians are now trading with Pakistan, and they are really having, good manufacturing capacities now. So it's just a 24 hours ride. Wild polio vaccine can be brought into Nigeria. So that means the only way we can checkmate that is to have robust surveillance, disease surveillance, so that as soon as any comes, you round it up, do mop up, and get it out of the way.
Okay, we live in a country where it's so easy for people to become complacent. For instance, we were aware of funders that were coming into the polio eradication initiative. And now that we have been certified polio-free, how is government or the drivers going to be able to, make people understand the fact that Nigeria is now polio-free does not mean that funding should cease or we take a back seat?
Yeah. So I will say that once again, we cannot rest on our oars, as they say. That would be the most dangerous thing to do. But we have very solid partners. And these partners, they know what will happen after the continent or the country is declared polio-free. We can go into complacency, we can go into, this, and then we can be surprised again. So there is what they call exit strategy for the polio, whatever. And then there is another strategy, which I've forgotten the name, I remember, by the Rotary and the nations on how to make sure that we don't lose the gains, momentum, and then push the same methods, including EOCs, to fight other diseases. And don't forget about that polio could come back.
Has Nigeria adopted that? Or
yes.
Have you advised
No, Nigeria has adopted it. It's what Rotary, UNICEF, WHO, the Ministry of Health all are doing. And the lead on that is the Honorable Minister of Health. And we believe that that strategy is...
Professor Nasidi, certainly we will not just dwell on wild polio virus and the eradication efforts. We are in a pandemic. COVID-19 is still very much with us. One would want to know, as an expert, how do you see the state of containment, the state of... can we now say we are on the verge of eradicating it, for example? And generally, what are your assessments?
Well, before we go to COVID-19, can I say something here? Just I don't know if the camera can pick it. This is a picture of President Obasanjo, President Carter, and the father of Bill Gates, his mother, and myself. And this is a momentous period in our history.
What year was that?
I think it was 2002. 2002.
Let's see the picture again. Yes. The camera is still trying to... Yeah.
Okay. You managed to pick it?
Yes. So what about the picture?
The picture...
Father of Bill Gates, President Obasanjo, yourself.
Yeah. So I'm saying the type of support that we're having from our partners and donors, will not wane off because of the root of how we got Bill Gates to come in, how we got Angote to come in, how Rotary is constantly in support and standby for Nigeria and so many others. So I think, with that, just to answer her question, and the federal government, as I told you, did something that is very great. The president approved what they call the Basic Healthcare Fund.
Provision Fund.
So that is a huge step forward in our healthcare. That even boosts the confidence of the partners. So you can see that we are not going to fail in Nigeria by God's grace. We shall sustain this.
Can that be replicated as we try to contain COVID-19?
Yeah, so now I tie this to COVID-19. COVID-19 is a little bit different from polio, but at the same time we can, explore, the gains and the tools we use to fight polio, to fight this disease. Already, as you know, the first case, when it arrived, 27th of, February,
Yes.
Into this country,
yes.
It didn't take us by surprise as like Ebola did. And at least we have some mechanisms on ground. And let me tell you something. From the time the virus came into Nigeria on the 27th, by the end of the first week, we have already identified that definitely it is COVID. Our scientists have isolated the virus and characterized the virus and sent it to World Gene Bank. That was such a feat.
The
NCDC. Yeah. So all these were actually the products of our fight against polio and Ebola. So we had a lot on ground already. Then this virus, when it came in all this, and I was just talking and people thought I was mad. I said, can surprise us and stay longer than we were thinking. Because Ebola is a contact disease. You have to come close to the person's body or the body fluid or all this. But this one can be spread through air or through droplet. So the WHO said, no, only droplet. But now, everybody now has agreed that it can also fly by air. So the fact that the disease is still spreading in our communities, is definitely, consolidated by the fact that it can easily be transmitted, in the markets, in any place you have a lot of people, etc. So the strategy on how to knock off this disease and control it is so tough. And it has come to test our health systems, not only of a country like ours, which is a developing country. Look at what COVID is doing in strong countries in Europe, in America. Yesterday or Tuesday, another 1,000 deaths in America. So it's such a terrible disease, a virus, that it's as if it has come, let me test your health system. You say you are strong, let me test you. So you bring this, it goes that way. You bring this. So it's a tougher battle. But nevertheless, I think we have introduced some novel approach in fighting the disease. The establishment of the Presidential Task Force is a novel approach, where you bring all the sectors, multi-sectors, to address, how to fight an enemy. But what is new there, because we had a Presidential Task Force, like against polio. But this one is a standing task force with the heads of all these agencies themselves participating. Like if you say Minister of Interior, the Minister of Interior must be there talking. If you say Minister of Health, Minister of Health will be there and be talking, and so on and so forth. So it's a wonderful approach, which some countries are learning. Nigeria have done well. The only weakness of this is that the scientific component and technical component is a bit weak, but nevertheless, it's a novel idea.
You want that improved?
Yeah, I want that improved, of
course. Prof, we may have to stop there because our time is fast gone. We have done 52 minutes. Actually, the program rounds of about 55 minutes. Professor Abdulsalami Nasidi, Provost, College of Health Sciences, University of Africa, Torua in Bayelsa State. Thank you so very much for your insights, your thoughts on how Nigeria was able to eliminate the wild polio virus, and of course, and the hope you have raised in the sense that even COVID-19, we are on the verge of getting a breakthrough. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Rabi Abdullah, head of NTA's health desk and our in-house medical doctor. Thank you so much for being there all the time.
Thank you
In the
for
last
having
55 minutes, we've been talking with Professor Abdul Salami Nasidi, Provost College of Health Sciences, University of Africa in Tororua in Bayelsa State, but he was former and pioneer Director General of the National Center for Disease Control in Nigeria, and is a professor of epidemiology and a virologist at the same time. The focus has been Nigeria's polio-free status, challenges, and prospects. That's Platform. Thank you for watching. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Bye for now.
NTA.